Support for this podcast comes from listeners and St. Alphonsus Health System, a regional network of hospitals, clinics, and care providers. St. Alphonsus offers comprehensive healthcare services to individuals and families throughout the community. More information about services and locations is available at stalphonsus.org.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Hi, I'm George Prentice. Today we'll tell you about an effort to combat human trafficking in Idaho, and we'll also hear from a small but very familiar eatery in McCall that wants to help families in their town that depend on SNAP benefits. It is Tuesday, the 11th of November. Here we go with today's stories. Today is Veterans Day, a federal holiday. There is no mail delivery today. Most banks will be closed. It is also a state holiday, and most cities will mark Veterans Day as a holiday. Most government offices will be closed, and most library systems will be closed today. The Idaho legislature gave a preview of how they might want to change the state's child custody and family law system yesterday. James Dawson tells us more.
The Child Custody and Domestic Relations Task Force has been meeting for months, allowing Idahoans across the state to share stories about how family courts have affected them. Republican Representative Barbara Ehart says one of her top priorities is limiting the use of temporary custody orders that can be in place for months while courts work out a final agreement.
I feel like we have legalized kidnapping. Justices may not want to hear that.
Republican Senator Tammy Nichols, who co-chairs the task force, says she wants to require the separated parents to share in the cost of court-ordered evaluations and experts if one is wealthier than the other.
I think it does provide that equity so that people are on level playing fields.
The group also generally agreed that police should enforce custody agreements if they're violated. Their recommendations will be sent to the legislature before it reconvenes in January. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
The scourge, that is human trafficking, was the topic of some discussion yesterday at the Valley County Courthouse. Law enforcement reminds us that there are dozens of trafficking arrests in Idaho in urban and rural settings each year.
I do think we still need to have a community conversation on human trafficking up here. But that's something that truly, hotels, restaurants, ERs, as we are a corridor for that kind of business.
This is Dee Dee Phillips, Director of Court Services in Valley County, standing before Valley County Commissioners yesterday. She said human traffickers can be caught in traditional traffic stops if law enforcement has the right kind of training and knows that something just doesn't look right.
And you're just going to write the ticket and then let them move on, maybe give them a lecture. But it is pretty typical before someone really is noticed and questioned about human trafficking that they will have gone through traffic issues with law enforcement 2, 3, 4 times throughout the United States before someone who's then fully trained and fully aware knows what to look for. Because once you look, you'll see more.
A year ago, the state legislature approved a number of changes asked for by the Attorney General. Those changes included greater state-level resources to address trafficking. Yes, U.S. lawmakers are talking about how to unwind the shutdown government, but there are no SNAP benefits to combat hunger today, just like there were none yesterday or any day this month. We've been telling you stories about local efforts to help those families, and we are reminded that the shadow of hunger is long and wide, and it stretches across rural Idaho. The Star News reports that there are some 350 recipients of SNAP just in the McCall region, which inspired a familiar McCall eatery, My Father's Place, to try to assist those families.
It's really hard for us to sit here with a freezer full of food and a walk-in full of food and know that some people could be hungry. It just puts a rock in your stomach.
This is Tabitha Martineau, co-owner of My Father's Place, and they are offering a free meal, including kids' meals, to any SNAP recipient.
We just feel like it's our way to give back. It's our way. We're not sure how long we'll be able to do it. And it's not a political statement. It's just being a human being and caring about other humans.
Meanwhile, the Trump White House has held firm in its refusal to fund food stamps and added that they would impose harsh financial penalties on states that we're trying to individually find a way to fund some benefits for SNAP recipients. And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here on Wednesday. You can always stay in touch with the news on our website. It's boisestatepublicradio.org. Tell your friends about The Connector and how they can find it anywhere they find their favorite podcasts. For now, from me to you, thanks for listening.
Stay connected with Boise State Public Radio on Instagram. From breaking news and local stories to behind-the-scenes videos, it's where our community comes together. Follow Boise State Public Radio today.